so the first person we're going to be looking at is Benito. This is a duck hunt I have never seen before in my life. And I don't think he's really talked here before that. So I really don't know anything about his personality either. Looks like he's going to be fighting a Zelda, and he did only provide this one game, so it's not going to tell us too much. But we'll see what we can figure out. I do believe we talked about Zelda last time on our stream. It was either the last critique stream or the one before that. She's a very straightforward character. If you try to just straight out camp her and you're not paying attention to how you're pulling projectiles, she can just kind of obliterate you with the Phantom Knight and Din's Fire. However, if you're mobile, you're paying attention to what you're doing, she will get overwhelmed fairly easily, and you can just capitalize on that. She has a really good get off me tool with Nairu's Love, and then also, of course, if you're not paying attention, her up B can obliterate you, especially if you get bad DI and she catches you retreating and all that stuff. So those are things you have to be careful for. And, Knight is still a very good coverage tool, but it's just like, its biggest issue is that she has to charge it up before it really does much. And it's very obvious on where it's going to go. And the timing of it doesn't really change once she charges it up or if she just lets it go. So not really too much you need to worry about as a Duck Hunt player, considering you have so many projectiles you can hurl at her. But honestly, a stage like this isn't really a bad pick just because you're forced in close quarters. That's a little bit less comfortable for her than it is for you, just because your boxing tools are a bit better. So let's see what happens. Okay, looks like we don't have any audio. And why is it going there? There we go. Once again, as always, let me know if the audio's good, and then we'll go from there. So immediately off that clay pigeon, you should have gotten like 20%. And I feel like I'm going to see what the problem is. You do not want to be over-relying on clay pigeon. You want to get your cans out. You want to pressure them. And, you want to make sure you set up an advantage. Also, retip play, just always make sure you turn off the display when you do it. So that was actually good that you avoided the Knight situation. Just because if she did charge it some more, that Knight can get you. And also, her up air cannot really cover you too well. So, like, if you jumped away from there, there was no way for her to hit you. And you just had to pay attention to the Knight. That was entirely on you. Also that was a huge waste of movement and time. So let's replay this. So Gunman hits her, and then here you could have just like stayed underneath the platform. So if she decided to land on here, you could shark her with up airs. If she decides to go to the ledge, then you can start a ledge trap and whatnot. But you decided to go back and just make this free for her. Like, she had to deal with nothing to get back. Putting her in this position and you getting that type of advantage, this should be her living hell. Like, she should not be able to land. She should not be able to get back until her stock is gone. And you need to fully capitalize on that as a Duck Hunt player. Like, not taking advantage of neutral situations as Duck Hunt means that you are killing the only really, really good thing this character has, which is neutral coverage and just oppression. That is what Duck Hunt is amazing at. And if you don't do that, there's no reason to play Duck Hunt. That's kind of the bottom line here. So like going here, you just reset. Trying to get a little cute. That was terrible. When you do this, like, you just throw clay pigeon out that way. So if you hit her, okay, cool. But like if you don't, the way that you buried this you can at least hit it above you. But like once that happens, then it's just like you're just hurting yourself, and she's not even at a percent where a Canicite's going to kill her. So like if anything, you might be just damaging yourself a bit more. So like worst case scenario, she drops down, she fares the can, so her fair might hit you, and then the can hits you as well. Which that's not good, because then you get hit by like maybe tipper fair or weak fair into can, and depending how can hits you, most likely it'll send you away, but you'll just get extra damage. Worst case scenario, it flings you back to her, and then she can probably follow up with like a back air or nair, and those could lead to a whole bunch of situations. So yeah, don't do this. Okay, see, now we got a lot of coverage there. We got the can on the platform up there. You're able to cover her coming in with fair right there. Let's see what you do. You did clay pigeon. Don't do that. She could have actually just up B'd and hit you, but you're at 0%. Wouldn't have been worth it. But she could have ran in and grabbed you very easily, or just ran in dash attack. Worst case scenario. She at least had a guaranteed punish on that. And she didn't really capitalize on that. But this is actually a little bit of a precursor to my battlefield guide. Yeah, just wait for the tech option. Never rush it. Just stand there, wait. When you see what happens, cover it. The safest option to go for will pretty much always be up air since you can just kind of move with it. The other one you can do is nair, because if you do it in the middle, you'll cover most options, and then you can drift, so at least hit the weak hit. But as long as your reaction time is good, you can just kind of wait and see. Yeah, don't get greedy with your smash attacks. And like, yeah, when you see, like, you know, you can't just throw out a fair here and expect to hit, especially when she's charging up a knight. You got watching your opponent, especially how you're approaching them as well. There we go. Yeah, fair does not confirm into an F smash. Like, you just can't, like, throw out moves and not plan for what your opponent's doing at all. Like, you really have to plan what you're doing against them. This is not a one-player game where you're fighting a CP. There's not a guaranteed thing. You have to, like, watch your opponent and understand what they're doing and what just makes sense to do. Like, there, yeah, she called you out. So she's fully charged that Phantom. That has a set timer on it. You know you can jump to safety in those instances and just avoid the situation altogether. You have to remember the Phantom is going to come up and the sword is going to swing up this way. This whole area up, like, from here to here, Zelda can cover it, but you are not going to get hit by the knight. And that's just something you have to remember. The other thing, too, is when she charges it and she runs up, she's probably going to shield. You can grab her, and if your timing is good, you can use the throw armor to just armor the knight and not even have to worry about it. See, like that clay pigeon takes way too long. Don't do that. You watch. You got to watch it. You can't just pull projectiles recklessly. And see, like, that was just a Hail Mary. Like, you just hoped it worked, and it just happened to there. Now watching your opponent again. You got to remember that armor knight can cover a lot, so you do need to be aware of that when you're recovering. Again, watch your opponent. If you jump, and if they hit up B, don't do anything. Just wait to where you think that they're going to be, and then follow from there. Okay, see, like, now that's good. You got cannon approaching. You don't need a shield for that long. If she's still on the ground, you can just jump and avoid that situation. Could have gotten a little bit more. If you're going for that many clay pigeons and you don't have your clay pigeon combos down, that surprises me quite a bit. I wouldn't say practice your clay pigeon combos. You should not be doing that. You should be focusing on learning how to play the game more. But you will have to work on that eventually. Okay, yep. Yeah, see, you weren't watching exactly where it went. So, oh god, I can't. Okay. So yeah, so in this case she let it go right before confirming it into the charge. So, like, once it confirms into the assist, that's when you can jump. Before that, you can't do that. So just make sure you're watching it. Yeah, you have to do that. Yeah, don't force yourself to practice pigeons as if you have a bad pigeon habit, because that's going to make you go for pigeons. Like, once you've understood neutral and you've got your movement down, then you can focus on clay pigeon combos. Because, like, at that point, that's when it becomes a necessity. Like, mastering your combos becomes a necessity once you learn how to play the game. You need to learn how to play the game first. You have to understand neutral. You have to understand movement. You have to understand why you're using these projectiles, too. Like, you don't know why you're throwing out can. You don't understand how to get in. You don't understand how to bait out your opponent. You don't understand how to approach and all that. And there's some simple things that you can do. The first thing is, if you are playing and you tell yourself that is not the option I meant to do. I wanted to, like, you know, run and then do a back air, and I didn't want to do a run and then dash attack, or I did a run and I did a forward air instead. You need to make sure that your hands are able to reproduce exactly what you want them to do. If you don't have that down, you got to practice your movement. Doesn't matter if it's in training mode, or it doesn't matter if you're practicing against CPUs, or even if you're fighting people. Just make sure you practice movement. And then if you are still messing up, don't get frustrated. Just got to remember, okay, what are the moves that I have that are weak? So if it's raw bears, then you might want to go in training mode and practice that. And then, keep testing it out and make sure that you've got that type of movement down. And then once you get that more of that down, focus on your combos. So then that way, when you do hit somebody, you're able to put it to the max conversion possible. And then after that, you got to just think more about, learning matchups and then understanding mentalities and play styles and all those other things. But the first thing is movement, and then understand what each move is used for. If you want like a better understanding of all that, please go to my beginner's guide. I'll probably make an updated version of that at some point, but like everything I say in that guide holds true, and it tells you exactly how to use each moves and what exactly they are used for. So please make sure you go back and watch that and understand why you use each move that you do. And that will like help you out significantly here. So like, yeah, there's a lot of things. Yeah, like that was just bad. Okay, let's break down this example. Okay, so this is where you completely botch the whole neutral advantage that you had. Not this one, right after that. Okay, so what do you do in this situation? You hit them with fair because you thought that you threw down a fair because you thought they were gonna shield the gunman and all that. Okay, so like that was shield pressure. Now the gunman has hit them, and what do you do here? The first thing you want to do is you want to throw out your can. The reason why you want to throw out your can is that you can throw it out to cover the platform. The other thing that you could do is you could also run down and just stay right under here. The reason for that is if they land on the platform, you're going to be able to pressure them immediately. And then like if you do the can as well, if you see them go low, you could make the can ping below there. Or you could ping the can up here. That way that prevents them from wanting to go to the platform. And if they do, you have can to meet them. And then if they decide to go to ledge, you can cover standard get up, attack, and roll with the dog himself. If she decides to ledge jump and for some odd reason you miss covering that with the dog, then the can's going to have that covered too. Like you got to be thinking for what's going to be happening after this movement. And can will provide you the most resources to capitalize on the most amount of things. So that's like the main thing there. And that's not even like just the only use of can. Like can has so many other uses, and that's covered in the trick shot guide and all that. So really watch those guides and really learn what they're all about. Don't really have the time to give a lesson on every single move and how to use them because that's a lot, and you need to learn these things on your own. Same goes for you guys in chat. To work on that pigeon habit. Yeah, that like honestly, when you have a pigeon habit, you're only gonna lose it after you get your ass beat enough. That's really the only way you lose it. Because like if you're throwing up pigeons and they're working, you're going to keep doing them. Like you need somebody to consistently punish you every single time you do it for you to stop. Course canine? Oh yeah, definitely that. All right, so I don't think Benito is here. Benito didn't pop up in chat, did he? Nah, it doesn't look like it. Okay. So I'm going to assume he's not here. So Benito, when you're watching this at home, make sure you follow those things. You will be tagged, and I will post that video in the Deck and Discord when it's ready.